What's up, MFers? Hope you guys are having the best day of your entire freaking life. Before we start today's video, I have some very exciting news real quick. You know, I get asked every single day by probably hundreds of people about different types of fishing techniques, my favorite baits, my favorite areas to fish at all different times of the year, and it's impossible for me to get back to every single one of you. But I asked, and you guys gave me some great feedback. You told me that you would like to see a Milliken fishing newsletter type deal, all wrapped up into one to show you the best baits, techniques, areas to fish during each month throughout the season, and I delivered. So I'll be sharing with you guys my very best tips, locations, baits, everything every single month. You might notice I added a little join button. That's what that join button is right there down below. I wanted to give you guys a very quality piece of information, and so I created a little bit of a spreadsheet. We're gonna call it the Slaunch Times. So you get one of these guys every single month. It's gonna give you the best locations, the best baits I like to throw, why I like to throw those areas. It'll even include some stuff looking into the next month, some secret stuff. I'm not going to show it that close because you have to become a member. Go down there, hit the join button, become a member, and I will send you the exclusive Milliken Fishing Slaunch newsletter. But wait, that's not all. I'm going to give you guys a couple other really great perks. First one being that you are going to get a discount on all Milliken Fishing merchandise, apparel, everything else I come out with in the future. I got a lot of really exciting things coming, so you're definitely going to want to do that. And number two, I'm going to give you access to message me directly through a little community tab, a little private community group. That way we can go back and forth. We can talk fishing, baits, whatever. If you want to talk life and whatever you want to talk about, I will do that with some guest appearances from some of my good buddies as well. So go down and hit the join button right there, and you will get access to all of those perks. Now let's get on with the video. This was an absolutely incredible video I did. I was super jacked. Everyone loves to throw stick baits, and this is going to hopefully help you guys decide which ones you're going to go out and buy. Let's do it. Doing something a little bit different today. I'm with my man, Boy, back here, making some casts. We're not at the pond. We're not at the little tiny pond like we were last time, but we are at the freaking mansion that Boy gets to live at for the entire summer. We're gonna be testing some baits today in the pool, something totally different that I've never done on my channel. We're gonna be testing the infamous, this guy right here, the Yamamoto Senko. Super expensive, but they catch fish. We've caught fish on them for years. Everyone's won tournaments, and unfortunately I had to pay a hefty price tag because of the effectiveness of these guys right here. But there's so many competitors on the market. Every other company came out with one of these as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run you through some of our favorite ways to rig this bait right here, show you some underwater footage of how these look, what makes them so effective, and then we're gonna compare the sink rates, the fall rates of some brand new baits we've never used before, some other baits we've used with similar success, and yeah, it's gonna be a good video. All right, so here are the worms we're gonna be used for our competition today. Of course, the Yamamoto Senko's up there, 5-inch long. The Bass Pro Shops Tournament Series Stick-O worm, Big Bite Bait Stick, the Doomsday Tackle Company Roku, the Yum Dinger, and the Zinkerz, the Zman Elastic Zinkerz. And that is a natty light right there. We're not using, well, we're kind of using that. All right, so time to do a little bit of comparison. We're gonna compare the Yamamoto Senko next to all these different types of brands. First one we are going to use is this guy right here, the BPS version. This is the Stick-O. I believe they say it's like 5 1/4 inch. All these baits are right around 5 inches. I try to get them as close to the same as possible because we want the same control in this entire test. Therefore, we have the same size line, exact same wacky hook for all of our testing. But for those of you guys watching, the Senko, the Gary Yamamoto Senko 5-inch is going to be on the right side for every single test. And whatever competitor we're gonna have is gonna be on the left side. So time to drop in the BPS Stick-O. I'm gonna try to drop them at about the exact same time, exact same speed. And let's check out how they look underwater. They look pretty similar. I think the Yamamoto might sink a hair faster than this one, but this BPS worm, they come in like giant packs. You can get bulk of them. I mean, the differences are kind of just minute between these two. I would say that the BPS Stick-O might have a little bit wider of a waving action. The Yamamoto's a little bit tighter, and the Yamamoto probably sinks a hair faster. Man, that's crazy. I think one thing this test is gonna have me do is not be spending $8 to $10 for a pack of Senkos anymore.
Sorry, Gary.
Gary's stealing your monies.
We're sorry.
And of course, something else we should mention, which we really should talk about, and we're not gonna be able to really test in this this sinking video, is there's obviously other very important factors besides price and how good it looks underwater, and that is durability. That's the most important thing. Everyone cries about how Senkos aren't durable, and they're absolutely right. They're not very durable. They fall apart. They're generally one fish baits. You know, you always have your days where you can catch 5 or 6 on one, but those are few and far between. The softer the baits seem to last a lot longer. And so this is kind of why we're doing this experiment, to see if durability and action and price, what you want to go for in the future. All right, so far, I don't know, very, very, very close between the BPS. Shout out to you, BPS Stick-O. All right, next one up for testing is the Big Bite baits. These I actually got on the dollar rack on the way here for $1, 99 cents. I think it was only like a 5 or 6 pack. So again, that's kind of tricky when a Senko comes in.
That meets my budget right there.
It does. Is the Senko coming in a 10 pack? All right, so Yamamoto's, I think, come in a 10 pack. We just sort of confirmed that by maybe knowing. Anyways, these guys only come like a 5 or 6 pack, so they're $1. You can tell by feeling this guy right here that it's a lot lighter bait. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna affect the old sink rate. Let's see what it looks like. Again, Senko on the right, Big Bite baits on the left. Look at that. You guys aren't seeing much because the Big Bite baits is
Garbage.
pretty much a piece of trash. It is not, doesn't have any of that tail quiver. I'm gonna drop them at the same time. Actually, it floated when I stopped it because it didn't have any momentum going down. All right, I'm gonna stop them both at the top of the water column. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm gonna drop them right now. The Big Bite baits isn't even sinking. There it goes. It's not even quivering on the way down though. So I mean, obviously, good representation of. I mean, when you pull it up a little bit, it has a nice quiver to it. But that falling action, I definitely don't think you're gonna want to go with the Big Bite baits. Let's drop them down one more time. Kind of drop them at the same time. I mean, I even dropped the Big Bite a hair sooner there. It basically has 0 action falling, so that's something to keep in mind. I mean, you get what you pay for with that guy. I wouldn't get the Big Bite baits personally. It looks like it's probably super, super durable because it's super soft. It does have a really good color. That's an awesome looking bluegill color. I wish the Senko came in that color right there. I just picked that one up at the store, but appears you get what you pay for with that guy. On to the next. All right, next one up is a very popular one you guys have, I'm sure, all heard of, if not most of you purchased, and that is the Yum Dinger. In my opinion, not my favorite one to use, but it's very popular, whether that's because of the price point, the marketing behind it, I think has a lot to do with that. A lot of the pros that are sponsored by Yum pushing this guy and claiming that they're using this one in tournament wins. Whether they do or not really sure. Never been a big fan of it, but let's test it once again. Yamamoto on the right. And we're gonna have to, once again, we gotta give it a little bit of a push to get that dinger to sink, and it's not, you're not seeing anything right now because it, there it goes, it's sinking. And that's, there's your turd pile of garbage Yum Dinger right there. I don't even know what to say about that besides, if you want something to sink 1 foot every 10 seconds and have no action, I suppose that's the one you're gonna wanna go with. But again, Yum Dinger's a much cheaper option. Once again, I actually got that one for $1 out of the bargain bin. And right now, I'm wishing that I had my $1 back to spend towards my $7 or $8 package of Yamamoto Senkos. Except the BPS Stick-O looked really good too. I don't know, I'm not gonna show this one too much more. It looks like absolutely nothing. I mean, you want your stick bait to have that quivering action and fall, in my opinion, as quick as possible. All right, next competitor up is one that I've actually never used before. This is the Doomsday Tackle Roku. It looks cool. It's kind of a thinner bait. Feels like a heavier stick bait worm, but like I said, it's one I never tried before, so I want to see what it looks like. And down they go. These guys, I think, were $5.49 for a 6-pack, so almost $1 a worm. Really close in price, probably, to the Senko. And honestly, pretty impressive looking action. I don't know if it's much better than like the BPS Stick-O if you want to save a little bit money on the Yamamoto, but clearly a pretty cool, nice waving action. Doesn't sink as fast as the Senko.
It's got a little smaller profile too.
It does,
man.
a little bit smaller, a little bit more tapered. It's not just a straight stick worm. Kind of a cool profile. I'm sure it would get bit, but again, pretty close in price to the Senko. Seems like a decent bait. All right, last but not least, we're gonna show one of my favorite baits to fish that I've probably caught more fish on than any of these other stick baits you've seen the entire year. Little bit of a disclaimer, I don't work with this company at all, so I'm not just promoting it. I don't even like this company that much, but this is the Zman Zinkerz, I believe it's called. Zinkerz, that's what it's called. It's an Elastec material bait, so it's nice and stretchy. Let me show you guys real quick next to the Senko how it sinks on just a regular stickworm sink rate. Doesn't want to sink too much, doesn't have a lot of action, just kind of spirals down. Totally different material. Elastec is not plastic. I don't know, I can't remember what it's called that it's made out of, but anyways, Elastec. It's made from a lot of science and love, clearly. So it kind of spirals down like that. But let me show you guys real quick a tip, a little secret. This is how I like to rig it, and then I'll show you how it sinks to the action it's got that I really like. All right, so really quick, what I like to do with this Zinkerz, I do this right here. Now, most of the Elastec products don't come with a lot of salt. This one does because they wanted to get in the stick game market and have a competitor that sunk. Bad mistake in my opinion. Just take this guy, and we're just gonna stretch him out like that as much as possible, and that's gonna get as much of that salt out, and it's gonna make it even more durable. And I mean, in my opinion, I know you guys that fish a lot probably realize the more fish you catch on a bait, I'm sure Tube Boy back there can back me up on this. The more fish you catch on a tube, the less feelers it has, the more beat up it looks, the more fish you generally catch on it. And that's usually the way this guy right here works. Look how beat up that thing looks. That is how you want it to look. You're gonna catch fish. So you're just gonna take a little nail weight, a very simple nail weight. Generally I like to have super glue. I'm gonna have to run up to the truck and grab some. But you just stick that nail weight in, just like so. These are actually pretty good ones. This is the Woo Tungsten. It has a nice little ribs on it, and it's really sharp, so it stays in. It doesn't want to pop out as easy as a lot do. So there we go. We do that, and then I usually put a ring on it, but we don't even need to do that for this comparison. We're just gonna hook it about a third of the way up and just skin hook it. Now, since it's a Elastec, that thing's gonna stay on there really, really well. So let's cast this out underwater and take a look at how this guy works underwater as soon as I get my rod undone here. So it's gonna sink with that weight side down, and because we just messed with it and pulled a lot of the salt out of that guy, it's gonna have some badass action. That hook's gonna stay up off the bottom, so you can work this guy in and around a bunch of different types of cover, rock piles, whatever on the bottom. Since we tore that salt out of there, it's gonna stand up pretty nice off the bottom. Hopefully you guys can see how amazing this thing looks underwater. And I mean, this is one of my first times seeing this thing in crystal clear water. I've seen the way it sinks, I've seen it in really shallow water, but actually seeing this thing in a pool lets you know why this guy gets freaking bit. I tell you guys to use this rig all the time. Hopefully you can see why it works. And I use it offshore, use it on deep rock piles, I use it on points, whatever, just a way to soak up a couple more fish after you've worked your more aggressive baits to that area. And I also use it with more of a weedless hook than this one, even around the spawn time. Those fish that are up shallow, they don't necessarily want to eat, they're thinking about doing other things. Just dragging this guy around, even if it's not clean water, gets a ton of good bites. So there it is, guys. Hopefully you learned something from this. I definitely learned something from this. You can always take something from seeing these baits actually in action and underwater. Let me know if you guys have any other budget Senko stick bait style baits in mind, or if you think it's worth going out and spending that extra money for those Yamamoto Senkos. If you like these videos, please let me know, because I think there's several more we want to do, several different things we want to try out. We got a bunch more baits with us here, and Kyle's gonna be living here for a little bit longer. So let us know in the comments if you want to see more, what videos you want to see more of. And for me, for Tube Boy, we'll catch you next time. I'm out of here. Peace.
I'm not sorry. I can't help this love like mine. I'm not sorry. I can't stop with a love like mine.